Celtics Talk podcast is presented by 24autogroup.com. New England gets more at 24.
What's up, everybody?
I missed that. I missed that.
Who's that over there?
That is me. It's Kayla. I swear. In the flesh. It's been a minute. God, it's been a minute.
Kayla got booted. First off, Giles muscled his way in.
Giles was
Abby
3
was
for 3, man. I was like, I even offered. I was kind of jealous that I wasn't potting with you. And I was like, hey. Hey, Giles,
no.
I got it tonight. He's like, no, Kayla. It's fine.
A very Giles move to be like, I only get the wins. But no, you got one too. We did joke. I didn't know if you could find the room again. Didn't know if you knew where it was. And Michael May had been in here. She's
been here longer and earlier than I have.
She did not do a Celtics talk, which is rather disappointing.
She scouted the room.
So we're just going to have a bake-off at some point.
We're blessed by the Queen of the North here in this pod.
So great.
It's all good vibes here in New England when Ann Michael May stops by.
I love it. Well, the reason the Celtics played the Pacers tonight for the 547th time in 2 weeks.
Seriously.
And I'm not going to lie. I'm sick of the Pacers.
I'm sick of them. I don't want to see them. I'm over it.
Celtics win 119-104. They built like a 23-point lead. Then it got a little fuzzy at the end of the third quarter. Pacers get within 9. Celtics sort of say, no, we're done here. Another great JB night. I'm getting the JB stuff out of the way because we always forget. And then we get 10 minutes in. We're like, wait, JB had a 30, 10, and 5. We should probably talk about it for a second. So Jaylen Brown, another amazing night. But if we're being honest, this is a Sam Hauser podcast tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He hasn't gotten enough adulation, praise on this podcast. I'm probably more apt to throw him in a trade rumor, and that's on me. But for whatever has happened the last 15, 16 games, Sam Hauser has taken it to another level. The last 10 since elevating to the starting lineup, he has been fantastic. So, Kayla, what is your headline tonight?
My headline, Hauser's House featuring January. I mean, really, this guy. Let me read some numbers. I'm going to pull Chris.
Bring it.
I'm pull a Chris.
Man, look at you come back and you're like stealing my things.
That's the thing. When you come to the pod, you can't just come here act like you're sitting in the chair and be like, "Hey, what's up?" I gotta get my credit back,
Let's
right?
Go.
So last 3 games, starting from the third, 16 points on 6 of 9 shooting, 30 point on 10 of 21 from the 3. The Atlanta game, as you know, 17 on 6 of 8. He has been it's the 6 of 9, the 6 of 8, and then the 10 threes like that. He's been so efficient.
And if you took away the 6 threes he missed trying to get the record at the end of that game,
that's why
he'd be at 70% shooting.
Right, 10 of 21 is a stretch because you just saw him miss 6 and just chuck everything up and he was gassed. But he's playing with such a freedom right now, and he's been so humble about it by his approach, starting, going to the bench, coming off the bench, starting again. His role is never. I remember one of the reporters asked him, hey, watching Anthony Simons, who had that ridiculous game. What was it in Miami? Ridiculous game. His career, his season high with those 39 points. And then Sam was asked, what's it like to see a guy, come off the bench when you can kind of relate to that scenario? And he goes, I don't care. I really don't. And honestly, he didn't say it with hostility. He truly doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because he knows when he's out there, I'm going to just do what I do. And that's what he did. He's been doing.
And then a game later, he goes out against the Hawks and balls out.
And it's funny. I was there courtside, my humble brag, because I don't do a lot of sideline games, but I was there courtside.
Good games.
And it was so fun watching him. He's cracking up. Derek White was low-key getting pissed off that his Broncos were losing. I've never really seen this. And mind you, they're all locked in. Don't get me wrong. But, they're all just having a good time out there, especially when the ball is going through the hoop. And not to mention, did he even hit the rim tonight?
No. I was going to say, the stat I do want to go back and did he even scrape the rim at any point? It was everything he threw up was such a swish. It's jarring when you watch it. It's one thing to watch in the moment. You're like, oh, he's on fire. He's making all his threes. Then we run the highlight package, and I'm like, oh, my God.
He literally has not hit the rim.
He has not hit the rim.
Which, by the way, folks at home who if you're raising kids, for basketball and they're trying to get good at this game, one of the drills, mind you, I'm not an NBA player or WNBA player, but one of the drills that my coach would have us do, and Scalabrini knows this because he works with my former high school coach, is you would have to make at a spot 10 not makes swishes before you moved on to the next. Oof. Now try to do that in a game. I don't think
in a row or just 10 swishes?
10 swishes.
Okay.
So, well, There were
I would've been there
were
for
the
a week and a half.
There were the in a row people, and then there were the hit 10
Right.
switches. I was the hit 10.
Those people are.
I was category B. They were category A. But to do that just alone in practice is one thing. To do that in a game, next level.
My gosh.
Next level.
So I'm gonna try to. I don't think I can one up your numbers, but knowing that I'm sitting there at the end of the game and I'm like, what are we gonna talk about? Because
I know.
I hate to use the boring word, but because we played the Pacers a million times, because they were up by 20, because they kind of just like played around with it a little bit, and then it was just Sam hitting a three and getting you to the finish line. I was crunching the Sam numbers, and a couple things that jumped out to me. He is now. Let's see. So he was. I got to do math on the fly here. He was a plus 13 tonight. So he's a plus 112 over his last 16 games. The Celtics starting five is now the third ranked, almost up to plus 20 net rating. Behind only a Oklahoma City lineup and a Charlotte lineup. I know that the Charlotte one might come back to earth because they were hot garbage tonight against Cleveland at the start of that game. Sam's scoring output from the first 26 games, 6.6 points per game, now up over 12.5 points per game. His three-point percentages are up like 20% across the board. He's pretty much a 40% three-point shooter, despite the fact that first half of the year or the first quarter of the year he couldn't hit anything consistently. And it's just so amazing. Like, I have the ultimate respect for it, especially guys like that, when going to the bench, uncertain minutes, uncertain role, and he just kind of hung in there. And he never seemed, I'm sure he was frustrated with himself, but he never let it impact the way he defended, the way he chased rebounds. And that's the other thing. Like, his rebounding numbers have been off the charts. I think he had 6 or 7 tonight. He put the ball on the floor a couple times, drove closeouts, and I'm like, who is this?
Sam?
I don't know. I didn't know he's morphing into Derek White, taking it to the hoop and dishing it and doing all the stuff. So it's just really cool to see. I think there's this notion of like, all he does is make threes, right? He's Sam Hauser. But he legitimately tries hard on the defensive end. Teams go at him and don't realize that he's way more stout and got way more size than they think. He gets rebounds. He is getting better with the passing the basketball. He's always been very careful, like not a turnover guy, and just impacts winning. And so I think it's really cool that Sam has just been so good. To ride that roller coaster at first and then just kind of lock in, and now we sort of see it. Like, the Celtics put him back in the starting lineup, and everything just seems to go to another level. Second-ranked offense in the NBA.
And you mentioned a good point that's honestly noteworthy for me. I feel like, and shame on me, if I also join the pack of looking at Sam Hauser as like, oh, he's a three-pointer shooter.
Right.
Like, three-point shooter, just close out.
I mean, he has a defined skill, like, right? Like, it's okay to be
and the jokes early on were like, oh, Sam. I remember media day. You know, I forget who called him liability defensively. Like, and that's like as disrespectful
to his face.
Or no. They said it was. I think it was. Don't quote me. I think it was Austin Reeves.
Okay.
But someone called him out. Double fact check that. But I think it was Austin Reeves called him out, and Sam goes. And I go, why do you think that? He goes, because I'm white. And I'm like, well, that's coming from another white guy, Austin Reeves, right? But the irony is, like, he's always, no matter what people have said, whether he's like, oh, hearing I'm just a three-point shooter or I'm not a good defensive player, he has just locked in, done his thing. And I am starting to see him in a different light of, okay, there's Jaylen Brown who's going to be that constant leader, and we're going to wait until Jason Tatum comes back, and hopefully it's a great duo, which we expect. But then it's like, who's that number 2 guy? Derek White. Okay, well, Derek White's been up and down a little bit. So who's the other guy? Maybe Peyton. But now we're starting to have that conversation of Sam Hauser being pretty consistent right now.
I mean, I think he hit the first 3 of the game.
He did.
2 in the first couple minutes. Like, really kind of set the tone. It is not. It's not something new. It's easy to look at that starting lineup and do the options thing where you're like JB and then Derek and then Peyton. Nemi's catching lobs, but there's Sam. Like, he's so vital because all the attention those other guys draw when the ball swings his way. He's typically got good looks, and he's knocking down shots. Which brings us to the second part of our Celtics Sam Hauser Talk podcast, which is, look, I am guilty as anyone. I sat here for much of the summer trying to figure out the Celtics moves, and Drew Carter would get very mad because I would throw Sam in a lot of my trade proposals.
Drew and Sam are tight.
And it it wasn't a factor of, like, I thought they should move Sam for any reason on his play. It just comes down to his contract, which he's now in the first year of a $40 million extension, making $10 million a year, which is a super thrifty price for the production he's given them lately. It's just he's one of the few guys that are in that salary slot. And so to make a deal to get a player with some talent, he's naturally the one you kind of throw into the mix for a potential movable guy. Same thing we've done with Anthony Simons a million times in the last 6 months because of the fact that he makes a big number. The Celtics have some decisions. They'd love to shed some money. You got some other needs on this roster. I would say now, this will be the headline portion of my ramble, Sam Hauser might be untradeable. And I don't like putting that label on anyone because
I'm not mad at it.
I think you have to, the one thing I would caution, when Jason Tatum comes back, someone's going to the bench. So whether that's Hauser, whether that is like whatever iteration you want to do.
Is fine.
Right. There's no shame in it.
And he's been there. It makes no difference to him.
And Sam's probably the easiest, and like he wouldn't complain about it. He would just go do his thing.
Right.
But now you're moving. So like in that world, if Jason Tatum, when he's back and pushes the depth chart down a little bit, there's less shots to go around. You're now Sam and Anthony are competing for some of the same shots on the bench unit. That doesn't mean you still can't have plenty of looks. It doesn't mean you can't still be impactful for your team. It's just the reality is your minutes go down. You know, it gets a little bit harder to impact winning. So I think the Celtics still have to at least entertain the ideas, and those two guys will invariably be involved in all that. That being said, shooting is such a commodity. And I was thinking a lot about it when we were playing the Pistons the other night. Pistons are one of the best teams in the NBA. They're super fun to watch. They're crazy physical. It was a fun game to watch. And I was left thinking, man, they need one more piece, like one more shooter. And now on a night where Tobias was knocking down threes, Duncan Robinson was impactful. But if they had one more starter caliber sharpshooter, that team is legitimate title threat. I don't want to see them get a Sam Hauser type. I don't even know. It's not going to be Sam. But like if they went out and found a guy of his ilk, you know, and people will say, well, that's Duncan Robinson. It's really not. Like Hauser's a better player right now, makes less money, I think. And like teams need Sam Hauser. The Celtics need Sam Hauser. So I think I might just be coming back to, as much as I'd love to throw him in the conversation for some of these guys that make 10 to 15 million, and maybe ultimately if the Celtics decide there's the right guys out there and they just have to do that, you know, then you have to make those hard decisions. But if it's just to get a minor upgrade at the center position, I'm not doing it.
And I'm looking at this team, and I'm like, look, we can do a whole podcast, and eventually we will, because the trade deadline is February 5th.
2 weeks away, baby.
Crazy. And it's really like, what's worth your buck? And I understand, like, yes, you just mentioned Sam's salary, and that makes sense. But now, I don't want to, like, if I'm Brad Stevens, I'm looking at this team, and let's keep perspective, everybody. I am no Brad Stevens. No one is Brad Stevens other than the genius himself. But you're looking at this team, and you're like, who is really out there worth it that's going to almost impact us in a more positive way than what we have going on? And like, yeah, you can go get a big man. You can go get the guys that we've been talking about.
Zubac. So, I mean, again, you throw it in there. If you're not going to move Simons, which is the ideal pathway to someone like Zubac, like you would have to make Sam and throw in a bunch of different guys to like even get close to the number. And
that changes the whole vibe of this team right now. Let's say you do get Zubac. Okay, now you're going to go double big. This team right now is used to kind of going, you know, they're small, so they're going small. They're playing small. It's been working. You have Anthony Simons. By the way, if you watch Anthony Simons, which everyone does, but like really watch his game, there was a end of the shot clock scenario. 3 seconds on the shot clock. He just slices through the defense. 3 seconds left. Lays it in. I think this guy can get to the hoop at any given time.
Oh, yeah.
At any given time.
When he is in full Inferno mode, it's undeniable. Now, I always try to caution myself because I try not to be overreactionary. So Sam stretches a little bit long. It's like, 16 games is a pretty healthy sample, so I don't feel like we're overreacting. But, he could next week go into a cold funk, and we're all sitting there going, all right, maybe they should move him. He should have cashed out high while he's playing well. And sometimes I think that with Simons, right? Like he's playing really well right now, but things get a little murkier if Tatum's back. Again, these are not easy decisions. I fully subscribe to, when Eddie talks about not messing with the vibes and when things are rolling, why do you mess with it? You're going to get a boost regardless of what you do if Tatum comes back. Like
defensively too, rebounds
right.
wise. Even though he will be on limit,
sure.
Minutes restriction, but
and even that, like, I think at the onset he'll definitely be on a limit. But go look at Drew Smith's game log for Miami, who came back after 9 months, who came back for the start of the season. Now he probably had the benefit of a little bit more of a ramp up, especially with camp. But he's played in back-to-backs.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they're going to do that with Tatum. You're going to trade cautiously, maybe until the playoffs and when his minutes will go up a little bit.
Having a vehicle you can rely on, that's important. That's why you can rely on 24 Auto Group. They will treat you like family. And that's because they are family owned and operated. They're honest, easy to work with, and they just get it. Whether you're looking for something sporty, something luxurious, or just a solid everyday ride, 24 Auto Group always comes through. With 9 brands and 11 locations across New England, there's something for everyone. And here's the best part. They've got the knack to save you more on a new or pre-owned vehicle, and the knack to pay you more for your trade, up to $2,400 over book value. You can even drive home with just $24 down. So if you want the best deal without the runaround, go see my guys at 24 Auto Group, because you always get more at 24. Online at 24autogroup.com.
It is interesting, like, you have plenty of talent to navigate that. Everyone keeps worrying about how the integration part of it. I'm like, it's going to work fine. Like, if all you're doing is taking 20 minutes of Jason Tatum and replacing, biting into a little bit of, like, Jordan Walsh and Ugo, which will break my heart, Shireman, all them, and, like, just kind of taking those minutes. If you're using Tatum as a small ball 5 in instances, it's going to be a lot of fun.
I actually think it's also going to be better, too, because of how great Jaylen Brown is playing right now. Like, if Tatum were to magically, and this won't happen, like, you don't just come back after an Achilles tear and just suddenly play 40 minutes a game. But I think just being integrated into what he has, what this team already has going on, it's not to say, hey, Jason Tatum, we're going to have you take the back seat and you can't compliment, you have to compliment Brown now because this is his team. No, like, they're going to figure it out, but it's going to take some figuring out to do. JT's never played with this group, and he's Jason.
He's going to love those Luka Garza screens, I'll tell you that much.
He for sure will. And I think he's going to be the perfect addition health-wise for the limited minutes that he has, but also complementing what's already going on.
It's just so funny when people start, how is he going to deal with it if Jalen's doing what he's doing lately and getting all those shots and the usage rate and all that. I'm like, it's perfect because now Tatum comes back and doesn't feel the need. There would be guys, superstars coming back thinking, I gotta be back to my old self. I gotta carry this thing. I gotta be superstar Jason Tatum. No, just come in, rebound the basketball, make the right play, which he's like amazing at. Create the 2-on-1, dish it to another shooter, draw all that attention. Think about how much more space Jaylen is going to have to operate with. Like, it's such a good problem to have. So,
hey, and a real fun fact or fun question I want to throw you at.
Ooh.
End of the game. Let's hypothetically speak, and I know this is a Sam Hauser podcast, so I'll make this quick, but let's hypothetically speak that into existence. Jason Tatum's back at X day, whatever, this year. And end of the game scenario against Pistons.
Okay.
Who's getting the ball in the clutch scenario?
My question to your question is, what's the defensive assignments? Who's guarding who? Ooh. So, like, if the other night Tobias did a really good job making it difficult for Jaylen, but you live with it because in that instance, Derek's been struggling. Peyton had a bad game. Like, you kind of know you want Jaylen to have that shot. Yeah. But if you have multiple options, maybe you get out there and you look, and those guys can look at each other, and one guy's going to say, like, oh, I have a lesser defender on me. Or, there's a size advantage you can take advantage of. Like, there's ways that should improve
good way to combat it. Yep.
The Celtics in that clutch. Now, ultimately, Joe has to draw up a play and say, like, this is the guy we're trying to get it to. I still think Tatum more often than not gets the ball. Like, you're not reinventing the wheel here. It's like you're going back to what has helped work for you. But I also think Jaylen has earned maybe more confidence in that situation that he can be the guy who gets the ball. And I think it just diversifies the portfolio for Joe. Joe can now go, whereas before if 8 of your 10 plays were geared towards Tatum.
And everyone knows it's going to Tatum.
Right. Now maybe 6 and 4. And like you still have Derek and Peyton flaring for potential options. So I just think
that's a good way to answer it. I like that because now teams are actually going to struggle even more because they don't know who. Like let's say maybe 7 times out of 10 it's going to Tatum.
Yeah,
but
and
those
look,
3 times, hey.
There was probably instances where Jalen had a good game and you were, would live with him getting that shot and everything. But certainly, I think we know that end of games it tends to end up with whatever you want to call the superstar 1A option, and maybe Jalen's turned that conversation because of how good he's been this year, and maybe more often than not, Tatum's just going to be okay with being a decoy, and that's a perfectly good thing to have. Like when you have that much confidence in 2 different superstars. What an amazing luxury. And that's why I think people are just overthinking this way too much. And I know we got to argue about something and yell about something, but I just,
what a great, quote-unquote, problem to have. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown
there
trying
are
to...
29 teams in the league that would
they're trying to share the wealth. Are you kidding me?
Oh, wait. 2 guys that have won a title are going to be reunited, and one of them might have got decidedly better while the other was out, and now the other one will eventually be back to full. I mean, like...
How do we feed both kids? Like, are you kidding me?
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, to bring this podcast full circle, now imagine you're Sam Hauser. And the attention you're already kind of like, you already got Derek White and Peyton Pritchard and Jaylen Brown taking attention off, and now Jason Tatum gets out here. So they're sending their 4th best defender at you, their 5th best defender. Oh, you're trying to hide someone on Sam Hauser? Good luck. He's going to run you through a million screens and then hit a 3 in your face. And it'll be amazing. I almost wish he was like Baylor Scheinman blowing kisses to the bench.
I know. And Baylor did that in the first quarter, too, right at Halliburton. He said...
he is ruthless. Like he
with his T-shirt.
He loves stealing celebrations, and he doesn't care if the other team
he does not care. It's so
notices it. And, Celtics are in a good spot, and especially after a win. Shout out Sam Hauser for hanging in there.
You know what? There is a clip of Jaylen Brown. You guys should go look at it on YouTube. It was honestly one of my favorite JV clips of the year. And I was thinking about this podcast. I was like, that game was kind of boring, right? And JB is sitting with his friend they like filmed it on some, I don't know, RV bus.
I was gonna say, it seems like they're on a bus.
They were on a bus.
I don't understand.
Did you see it? You know what I'm talking about? Right? Yeah, I don't know. It must have been
like. It's not just like one clip. He's like perpetually on a bus with this guy.
Right. It was definitely a setup. It wasn't his Twitch. It was something else.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. But he's with this guy, and the guy's like, man, you must get bored out here in Boston. You get bored? And he goes, yeah, I do at times. And he's like, but it's good to be bored. And he goes on a whole rant. I actually sent it to my sister to just like think the way Jalen thinks. Like, it's good to be bored. And I'm thinking of us in this podcast and with the Pacers. I'm like, that was kind of boring. But I'm like, you know what? Celtics are second in the East.
Not a bad thing to be boring.
Everyone, like, Jalen went off for 30, 10, and 5. Derek White still needs to find his groove. Fine. Joe, you can see Joe trying to get him back on track. Then Sam Hauser continues to have great consecutive games of January.
You're absolutely right.
It's good to be bored.
That's
my headline, actually, now.
When you're second in the East, when things are rolling, when Jalen is putting up 30, when Sam's knocking down every 3, it is absolutely not the worst thing to be bored, because that means, we haven't had a lot of, hey, this was a boring night around here.
No.
Usually the Celtics find a way to infuse a little action into these games against inferior opponents.
On the meal.
Now they got to figure out how to do it against Brooklyn, against Chicago. There's a football game this weekend. There's a snowstorm.
There is a snowstorm. There's all of it. Snowstorm, football game.
I don't know. I'm excited for the football game. I'm mad about the snowstorm.
Me too. It's going to be cold. It's going to be really cold here in New England. But you know what, New England?
Sam Hauser's red hot.
We are winning out here in New England. That is a good. You will take the cold 12 times out of 10.
Did Scal say he didn't know Mr. Brightside when they were talking?
Did he say that?
Yeah, I think so.
Scal?
I mean,
I must have went to the bathroom or something.
I have to go back and listen to the tape. He was talking about some song he plays at open gyms, but I don't know if he did. You
hear Hauser say that to Abby? Like, oh, that's a college.
Yeah, anthem. If you were in college at that point, it is an anthem.
It is an anthem. No matter where you went to school, that's an anthem.
Back in 24 finals, we were coming back from a golf outing, and we were rocking that in the back of a car.
When that song blasts, it is such a hit.
You know how many Killers concerts I've been to?
How many?
I can't reveal the number. It's a lot.
Really?
Yeah, it's probably let me do the math here. It's over 20.
It doesn't. No way. Really?
Yeah. I've seen them in a lot.
I don't know if I've been to over 20 concerts, just in general.
In general, really?
No, I'm not. I want to be more of a concert goer.
Oh boy.
I know.
You don't.
Holy smokes.
My Dave Matthews number is like.
I bet.
Yeah, it's up into the 70s, I think. I've been to a lot of shows. I was gonna say I wasted a lot of money.
You
I've
have time
never
for
wasted.
this.
What's that?
How do you have time? Like when?
Well,
Celtics season
when I
goes
was
from
young,
like.
when I was a younger lad.
Yeah, that's true.
I had a lot of not that I had a lot of free time, but that was when before children, there was a lot more easier to get these things. Now as my children start to get older, it's getting a little bit easier, and it's become great because their musical interests become my musical interest, and so I was not a big country guy before, but now especially my youngest, there's been a lot of Luke Bryan concerts.
Great.
Yeah, so it's
my first concert was like Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, how was that?
Well, no, my first concert was Summer Jam, and it was like Chris Brown, Beyonce, Jay-Z. It was like Ludacris, like all the throwback 2000s. That was Summer Jam, and as a young teenage girl, you were melting over Chris Brown walking out when he was Chris Brown in prime.
Well, we were very similar because my first concert was the Beach Boys.
Nice. Nice. Chris Brown, the Beach Boys, same thing. Same thing.
My second concert, though, was a 2-night stand. I saw Boyz II Men, TLC, and Montel Jordan.
Dude, you don't get that nowadays.
I know. Even better, the first night was
Boyz II Men and TLC performing all in one.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
and then it turns out they I saw the TLC did an interview and they kind of gave Boyz II Men some grief for not being nice to them or something. But look, it was the early '90s. There were both two bands on the come up. It all worked out for everybody. The best part was so the first night was at whatever the Great Woods is called now, Tweeter Center or whatever the hell it is, in Mansfield, Xfinity. I don't even know what they call it anymore. The worst parking lot in America. The second night was at it used to be called Riverside, but it's whatever the Six Flags is now, and in like Western Mass, and literally it was so hot they were spraying the crowd with water, but I was like we were melting. So it was me and my mom, and it was awesome, and then we went on the flume to cool down. So you do the log ride over and it splashes everywhere.
That was awesome. Like Splash Mountain.
Yeah. And so I think we stayed for Montel and TLC, and I think we actually had to leave before the end of Boyz II Men because it was just like oppressively hot.
That is amazing.
Yeah, but it was great.
Back when they were allowed to spray the crowd and everything.
Yeah. It was probably illegal now or probably a bad situation, but
that's so good.
Man, I don't know how we got here. Oh, because I was talking about how many Killers concerts I've been to.
I forgot to. Oh yeah, Mr. Brightside. Okay.
Yeah, man, what a great. I'm not telling you. I don't know what people's perception of the Killers are. If you want to go to a high energy show where you just have the best time ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Scal should go to that because he went to Maroon 5 for the first time because Mrs. Scally, his wife, shout out Kristen, she's amazing.
Fair.
Quote unquote dragged him to Maroon 5 and he had the best time.
I saw Maroon 5 before the glow up. I'm throwing
an OG.
I'm throwing my hipster card out there.
Yeah.
I believe it was a John Mayer Maroon 5 twin bill.
That's a dream concert of mine. Maroon 5 and John Mayer.
This was at the Webster Theater in Hartford back in
even better.
Early 2000s. Yeah,
That's
I've been to Kayla. If I ever sat down and did the math on like what I've spent on concerts,
but those are that's worth spending.
100%.
Those are the experiences. You can't get those back, and you remember it.
Well, I just rattled off riding the Flume in 94, 93 or something like that.
With your mom. That's amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. I think back like now as a parent, I have like endless respect that my mother was kind enough to drive me to those two locations. Could not have been. I mean, I'm sure she liked the music a little bit.
She was a real one for that.
Yeah,
real one for that.
Listen to the Jammin' 94.5 back
Jammin'
in the day.
94.5. That was my
phrase that
radio.
pays. All right, we went down a wormhole, but
this was a Sam Hauser podcast.
It was a Sam Hauser podcast,
you know what,
and
actually,
then I hijacked it.
It still is because he even attested to Mr. Brightside being like an all-time hit. So
you a big Killers fan?
I mean, if you went to college, you like that song.
It all came full circle. I'll be back on Friday night with Kayla.
You?
I believe.
If I'm allowed back.
Okay,
I haven't been here in a minute.
You're perpetually welcome. I think you're on the schedule now for multiple pods.
Let's go.
And we'll probably talk concerts, but maybe some basketball too. So until then, go like, go subscribe, go check us out on the YouTube page. We'll catch you next time on the Celtics Podcast.